It is another match day, guys. In fact, the first semi-final game of the FIFA Club World Cup between Chelsea and Fluminense, and it's promised to be a cracker today. I can't just wait for that game to happen. 8 p.m. Nigerian time, or if you are anywhere in Africa, that game will be happening by 8 p.m. and it's promised to be a game that will deliver quality and everything expected from a fun-filled football. You're welcome to Net Blaster TV, and do not forget to subscribe to my channel and drop a comment. Also, like this video. And yes, we're going to be previewing this game, talking about what is expected and the players' availability, and especially for Chelsea fans who you would like to start this game as your top nine, especially knowing fully well that Liam Delap is suspended for this game. So you have the availability of Nicolas Jackson and Yao Pedro, who showed the flashes of brilliance in his first game against Palmeiras as a Chelsea player. But before we get into this particular game, actually, let's take a look at some transfer gist making rounds at the moment briefly. And we're starting with the camp of Arsenal, where Gabriel Martinelli is in the news. And according to reports, Al Nassr are willing to sign Gabriel Martinelli, although they have not started any talks at the moment. But according to report as well, Gabriel Martinelli is not even interested in opening any talks with Al Nassr at the moment, not to talk about moving to Saudi Arabia. So for now, he is not interested to moving to Saudi Arabia. Victor Osimhen is also in the news, and yes, according to report, Victor Osimhen wants to remain in Turkey playing for Galatasaray, and it's just a matter of a club-to-club agreement between Galatasaray and Napoli. But for Victor Osimhen, he is good and okay with staying at Galatasaray. But for Victor Osimhen, for that deal to happen, Galatasaray need to meet the valuation that Napoli have set. He has a 75 million euros release clause, and for Galatasaray, they are offering around 55 million euros, which is not really good enough. Al Hilal are also still in the race. They are interested in signing Victor Osimhen, and for Napoli, they'll be happy if Al Hilal can actually come in because they know that Al Hilal can meet up with that release clause. But for now, they are still negotiating. Victor Osimhen is okay with staying at Galatasaray. It's also a matter of time before Anthony Elanga will become a new player of Newcastle United, signing him from Nottingham Forest. He has had a personal agreement with the club, and right now it is about a club-to-club agreement and meeting the valuation of Anthony Elanga. And just a matter of time before Anthony Elanga will become a new player of Newcastle United, signing him from Nottingham Forest. And Rodrigo de Paul is also in the news. The young man is open to moving to Inter Miami from Atletico de Madrid, going to meet his countryman Lionel Messi. Many of you regard him to be like a bodyguard to Lionel Messi whenever they are in international duty. But regardless, Rodrigo de Paul is willing to move to Inter Miami as we speak. Now, let's move away from transfer gist and let's focus on the game at hand. And it is the first semi-finals of the FIFA Club World Cup today. Chelsea up against Fluminense. In fact, Chelsea fans can't just wait because they are well pumped for this one. Fluminense fans as well cannot wait because they are well pumped for this one. But let's quickly preview this game and look at what is expected or what we're expecting from this game. First of all, we'll start with Fluminense, who have really been brilliant in this tournament. They have really done so well for themselves, and I can't even lie right there. And I want to point out something which is very, very important. For any team to make it into the last four of any major tournament, they stand a chance of winning the tournament. Yes, we might have favorites and we also might have underdogs, but the fact remains that for you to make it to the top four or the last four of a major tournament, there is a chance that you can win the tournament because whatever that brought you from the group stage up until the semi-finals can still take you to the finals of the tournament. So, be it Chelsea, Fluminense, or the lack of Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid, any of them can be champions of the FIFA Club World Cup at the end of the day. Now, talking about Fluminense, they've really been brilliant in this competition, as I said earlier on, and navigating their way, from the group stages, playing Inter Milan in the round of 16. Beating Inter Milan was a statement, although they've been struggling in this tournament, no doubt. And then beating Al Hilal in the quarterfinal, the same Al Hilal that disturbed Real Madrid and also defeated Manchester City. So it wasn't an easy one, but Fluminense were so comfortable in that game and did their job. And they are in the semi-finals right now, and they'll be hoping to continue their unbeaten run, which is standing at 11 games at the moment, 8 wins and 3 draws in the last 11 games. They'll be hoping to continue that against Chelsea later tonight. And one key thing you also should know is that this is going to be the first meeting between Chelsea and Fluminense, and also the second time they'll be playing an English opposition in the FIFA Club World Cup. The last time and the first time they ever did that was in 2023 when they played against Manchester City in the finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. They lost that game, by 4 goals to nothing. I know this will be so good to hear for Chelsea fans. So, but for Fluminense, they'll be so fantastic in this tournament, no doubt. We can't take away the fact that it's going to be an emotional reunion between Chelsea and Thiago Silva. The same Thiago Silva was instrumental in making sure that Chelsea are participating in this FIFA Club World Cup because he was part of the Chelsea team that won the UEFA Champions League in 2021 under Thomas Tuchel, and that's the reason why Chelsea are even playing in this tournament to start with. So it's going to be an emotional reunion, and let's see how that one will play out. He's really been marshalling the defense of Fluminense so well with loads of experiences and coordination, organization in the back four, sometimes back three for them in this tournament. And we'll be hoping to see how he comes up against Chelsea later tonight. But there's one particular player that Chelsea need to watch out for, and I'm talking about Jon Arias. That man has been in a fantastic form, sensational in this tournament, and he knows how to break defenses with his split passes. In fact, that young man is something else. His passes are like a needle pass. He can break any defense. And in the game against Al Hilal, I remember he created up to 5 chances alone in that game against Ulsan HT in the group stages. He also created more than 5 chances in that game. And if Chelsea want to beat Fluminense later tonight, they must keep an eye on Jon Arias because that man is so good in the middle of the park. He knows how to find he has that vision. He has that pass and he knows what to do whenever he's with the ball. But let's talk about Chelsea anyway. And we know that Chelsea, when it comes to quality, they have the quality and there's a bit of an edge over Fluminense. We know that they are the favorites to win this one. In fact, according to the pundits and according to the bookmakers, everyone is giving Chelsea the nod to actually beat Fluminense tonight. But we know sometimes football doesn't happen like that. But regardless, Chelsea are the favorite to beat Fluminense later tonight. They've also been fantastic in this tournament to do. They've had to battle their way, past so many matches. But at the end of the day, what matters is the win, not how you won it. That's what matters because it's not about playing good football or whether you struggle or it's also good to actually win games comfortably. But at the end of the day, it is the end that justifies the means. Yes. So for Chelsea, they've done well for themselves getting into this particular stage of the competition, and Fluminense are going to be the third Brazilian side they'll be facing in this FIFA Club World Cup. They played against Flamengo in the group stages. They lost that game, which is a blessing in disguise because that's why Chelsea were able to find themselves in the kinder side of the draw. Yeah, lucky side of the draw anyway. But they lost to Flamengo, which really never had any consequences on them. And then when they met Palmeiras, they were able to do their job, beating them by 2 goals to 1, although it was not a straightforward victory right there. And Fluminense are going to be the next Brazilian opponent and another one for Chelsea to try to see if they can crack in this particular tournament. And for Chelsea, they've done so well for themselves, getting past the group stages. They won against Los Angeles in the first game, lost to Flamengo, defeated Esperance of Tunisia, got to the round of 16, defeated Benfica in that funny game. That game was really funny the way it went and adverse weather issues and how they went into the extra time. Defeated Palmeiras in the quarterfinal, and now they are facing Fluminense. It's going to be a very fine game. It's going to be a game filled with quality and loads of good moments. And if there are players that Chelsea should actually be looking at in terms of quality, I think Kopama is the man. Yes, whether he's scoring the goals or he's not scoring, whether he's assisting or he's not assisting, you know that Kopama can actually turn up games. He can also actually turn up the heat of games. He can actually make impact in a way that you want. And he got his first goal against Palmeiras. That's the first goal in this FIFA Club World Cup. But that doesn't mean he's not been performing well in games. And if there's any man for Chelsea to turn to when they need him the most, it's actually Cole Palmer. Pedro Neto has also shown flashes of brilliance in this tournament. In fact, he's lightened up the wing areas of Chelsea. He has created 10 plus, chances so far in this tournament. 10 plus successful dribbles so far in this tournament. 3 goals to his name, and he was unlucky not to have added in, some other goals in that particular tally. But Pedro Neto is another man to look forward to in this particular match against Fluminense. I don't know what you think about this game in terms of the player availability. Talking about Chelsea, they're going to be missing some players, lack of Levi Colwill and Liam Delap will not be available because of cat suspension. But I don't think Chelsea will miss them that much because they also have a couple of other players who have made a return. In the game against Palmeiras, they didn't have Caicedo, who was out because of cat suspension. The lack of Badeshio was also out because of mini injury, and of course, Labia was out because of a similar knock as well as the captain of the team, Reece James. But they are both available. Reece James, they are both available. Caicedo is available. Lavia is available. Badashil is available for this game later today. And of course, Nicolas Jackson is back to the side. Liam Delap was suspended, but Chelsea are not lacking in that area. They have Christopher Nkunku. They have the lack of Nicolas Jackson. They have Juan Pedro, who made his debut against Palmeiras. And we saw what he did in that. The few minutes that he played, he showed flashes of brilliance. And I don't know if Nicolas Jackson should be worried at this point in time. But let me know what you think, who you think is good enough to actually start for Chelsea in the top 9 later today. If you are to be the coach of Chelsea, are you going to be going with Joao Pedro? Are you going to be going with the lack of Nicolas Jackson, or will you put Christopher Nkunku right there? We also have Magui, who is still right there and can play the top 9 position. Let me know what you think for this particular game. Somehow, I'm seeing Chelsea beating Fluminense. It's not going to be a straightforward game, but I see Chelsea beating Fluminense later tonight and making it to the finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. But let me get what you think. If you're a Fluminense fan, let me get what you think about this particular game and the players you want to see starting this game. Do you think your team can beat Chelsea? And for Chelsea fans, what is your prediction for this game? And who do you want to see start in the number 9 position? It's a very important one. Who is going to be starting right there for you tonight? Who do you want to start? Don't forget to drop it in the comment section. Like this video and also subscribe to this channel, because I'll be dropping the preview between Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain later on right here in this